So from Mashable, we've got a story. Mastadon could be Twitter's first real threat by Jack Morris. Tell us about that, Tom.
So there's a new social network out there. It's called Mastadon.
Okay.
And basically it's pretty similar to Twitter. It's an open source platform started by a 24-year-old gentleman from Germany, I believe. It's all open source. He's not getting any advertising dollars for it. He's opened up a kind of a GoFundMe type thing so people can donate to him. But it's a open source new tool. Some brands are popping in there. Walmart's already jumped on board.
Really?
And we'll see.
It's just the microblogging platform as well?
Yeah. So instead of the 140 character limit you're limited to on Twitter, you get up to 500. Let's see what else here. So they have the platform kind of looks very similar to Twitter's there. So
500 characters. Hey.
Yeah, and apparently they're cracking down on the harassment. So there's not going to be harassment like you can have on Twitter as well. So
could it be as a spam-free alternative to Twitter?
Yeah. We'll see. What he said he doesn't want advertising dollars, venture capital. Funds.
They say
we'll
that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that changes in a couple weeks. But so they were having some problems with the servers, and so if you wanted to sign up, you can't anymore because they've blocked it. So their current users can still use the platform, but maybe as he gets more funds, he can upgrade those servers as well.
Yeah,
which the venture capital funds help with that, but
a little bit, yeah. Robert, have you checked this thing out yet?
I looked at the article.
Yeah.
I think this is just what the world needs, really. Another social media platform that really just does a microblogging service. So I couldn't be more excited to dive right in to another social platform.
Robert, for some reason, I'm reading some sort of level of sarcasm here. And
look, here's the thing. I wish him the best of luck, and I think Twitter is in a place now where it's really struggling, but they've struggled to monetize, figure out a way to scale. And I'm reminded of LO when LO came along and was going to be a Facebook killer, and it was going to be an open source, and it was going to be free, and the data was going to be all secured, and all this wonderful stuff, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be interesting to see if they can execute and make something interesting out of it. But otherwise, if it's just another Twitter, wannabe, I kind of don't get it. And I hate the name.
Yes. I forgot to mention too so Twitter you have tweets, and Mastodon you have toots.
Oh,
so you send out a toot.
It does not.
Nothing. You are kidding me.
No, I'm being dead serious. You can send a toot. So the past tense would be I just tooted I just tooted on Mastodon.
That's like an April Fool's joke. Are we sure that's an April Fool's?
No, I'm dead serious. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Users can send out toots.
Wow.
All right then.
Okay. All right. Well, the interesting part about this, besides the obvious fart jokes, is that the SaaS environment. There's such an opportunity now to be able to launch something like that. I mean, you never saw this type of quick launch. I mean, he may have been working on this for 6 months or a year, for that matter, but you've got individuals doing this and challenging corporations into market share now. Where have you, at no point in time has marketing ever been, or content delivery ever been in a space where we can actually launch an application? If you got the work ethic, if you can actually pull all this together from a coding standpoint, there's no cost of entry, right? As long as you have a really good product, I mean, that's a great open market forum or free market environment there.
It is, but toots. I mean,
always comes back to the toots, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the barriers to entry are really low. I mean, but the challenge, of course, is that the barriers of entry are really low for everyone.
Right.
And so it's really, how do you differentiate in a sea of new business opportunities? The number of I'm sure you've seen Scott Brinker's technology, MarTech technology chart that he does every
with
year.
all the logos. Yeah.
2,400 new tech, just in MarTech, right? Just 2,400 new startup companies that are going to help marketers optimize what they're doing. So the number of technologies and platforms that are out there is certainly indicative of a case where, you know, the barrier to entry to get into this business is very small, and all you need is a couple of agile, you know, guys with a couple of scrum sprints and got a product.
Right.
And the real question is, can you actually make something stick? Can you actually make something that's marketable and that will, you know, survive the test of, you know, a year or 2 or 5 or 10?
The good thing is the low barrier of entry of innovation, but at the same time, there's a natural filtering that commerce, and you know, over the decades, has allowed. Is that if you can't muster the resources and get buy-in earlier and get advocates earlier, if you just come to the game with a wing and a prayer, you're really just clouding up the waters for those potential products to be able to rise to the surface, because it is such a low barrier of entry, right?
It is, but the con to that, the alternative to that, however, is that what it's done is, in many ways, as marketers, and especially those of us who are, you know, in charge of you know, a marketing team,
right?
Going to be multiples of types of technologies and approaches and social media channels and all these things that we have to deal with and experiment with and understand, is that it's in many ways made us lazy. Because now what we're doing is we're chasing after these ephemeral boutique metrics like likes and followers and, you know, page views and all of these, you know, sort of very surface level technologically driven sort of elements of, hey, are we doing a good job or not?
Right.
And we're losing sight of making big decisions that actually take a long time. And what that's done is it's sort of trickled up, or, you know, permeated up, whichever way the way you're sort of dripping. And CEOs, the C-suite, now expects results within weeks and months, not quarters and years. And so anything that we're doing, and this really affects what I do for a living, which is to help, you know, businesses become storytellers, which inherently takes time and inherently takes patience and investment. And it puts this undue pressure on the marketer to say, listen, I can't measure content any other way than how it, you know, how many leads it produces in this week. Because quite frankly, I don't have the benefit of being able to wait a month or a quarter or 6 months to be able to generate results. And so there's a real loss of big ideas going on in companies right now because we're so focused on this short-term result.
Got it. No, that's very astute. There's a lot of challenges in this new ecosystem. I hate using the buzzwords, but that's what it is. You know, and they live and die very, very quickly. And the problem is that it also allows for those innovative individuals that would have been incubated and protected for a while to be able to truly sink into their work, as well as their marketing and the evangelists that can be around them. They're exposed. They're at the risk of all the ebbs and tides, and you've got to provide results very, very quickly. And we all know that you have to create momentum to create results, and these things are momentum killers now, right?
It's absolutely the case. You know, I was talking with someone the other day, and we were talking about this democratization of content and technology and all of this stuff, and we were laughing, and we were saying the problem is that it democratized it for everybody. You know, it didn't sort of put out, you know, the prejudice against dumb or stupid people. So what happens is you end up in this situation where, you know, this is, you know, I know you had Mark Schaefer on who talks about content shock, but this is really at the heart of content shock, which is the need for us to be able to rise our content and our message up through that, you know, shock of, you know, the ocean of content is really difficult.
Yeah.
And it becomes increasingly hard when we're talking about fake news and we're talking about horribly written things, and people developing stronger and stronger technological filters as a means of fighting that. And it's one of those things where now I not only need to prove that what I'm going to tell you or what I'm going to give you in the way of content is actually valuable. Well, now I actually have to even prove to you that I'm possibly capable of doing that. And it becomes just really difficult to permeate through that friction of getting to an audience these days because of the technological advance, ad blockers and filters and social media, algorithms, and trying to reach an audience these days is ever more difficult.
No, you're absolutely right.
And the sort of patience that consumers have because of the plethora of content that's out there is so low that we have to deliver something even extra special good because the patience for quality is so low. If we don't blow them out of the water the first time we meet them, we don't have their attention and they'll just throw us away.
Yeah, and we're creating a very ADD society, and at the same time very numb and calloused to. You have to go big continually, and I mean that's just a case for disaster. I mean, people are just going to eventually just turn away.